on one call. Everyone look the same, but she take that hypnotic. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here, WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You are listening to our first installment of the week of the Midweek Flow. Want to welcome everybody to the station today. You ever leave the house without something on and you just feel naked for the rest of the day? I left without my watch on.
Oh boy.
I don't have no ring on.
Oh boy.
And like I need to go home and get my watch. you don't feel right.
Yeah, then you
without
missing
your
something.
embellishments.
Embellishment.
I'm just saying, man. You feel naked up in here, like yes, you feel naked. What's happening, Mr. Rideout? How are you today, sir?
Well,
Bruh's got their hair all down and whipped out, no hats on. Everybody flexing today.
Yeah.
Really?
Ching, 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 ching. My name is Alando today.
A lot.
Yeah, Alando. It'll be Alando.
Why does all of it have a Latin?
I don't know, man. It's
spin?
something about
that.
They just come out of me at around this time, man.
Latin spin.
I say you go high, I go low.
You secretly need to tell us something. There's something going on in the family background.
Hey, man, I was cloned.
Because Alando.
And tomorrow I'm gonna be Rolando.
I mean, you could have been, had you not used the accent, you could have been a bruh. It could have been bruh's name. Man, Alando, dog. It could have been that.
I was born.
But no, here you come with your rolling of the vowels.
Yeah.
So what's happening, Alando? How you doing?
Alando is feeling great today.
Okay. Yeah. Let me say hello to the other brother. I whip my hair back and forth. He got his wig hanging down today. What's up, Carly?
The wig.
Have you not seen the bros who get the fake locks?
Oh, I saw the fake locks, the fake waves, the fake everything.
They be doing it, do that little look, yeah, and weave that hair right on in, baby.
Hey,
I'm talking about.
Sorry for them.
Bros' hair be an inch long, and when they get done, they stuff be on their back.
Then all of a sudden,
like the day that we thought bros would be wearing extensions, man.
We figured if y'all do it, why we can't.
Real Carvey said we figure if y'all do it, why we can't do it.
I'm out of it.
It's rules and regulations, Carvey.
That one, brother.
Bros with wigs.
No sir, boss. No sir.
You left home. No.
If you was going bald, man, you lost like.
Hey, give up the ghost.
Hey, you lost 14 locks.
So Carvey said you're going bald.
Listen,
you lose 14 locks right in the center.
You ain't gonna be calling me George Jefferson.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna get you some extensions?
No, Doc.
Carvey said he get weave.
So you got a TKO though. You got to let it go.
It's weave, Carvey.
It was called the man weave.
Carvey, it's weave.
It's called man weave. That's what it's called. The man weave. I'm cool.
Nah, they tried to make it sound more macho and called it man units.
Man units.
When Steve Harvey had it was called a man unit.
Listen.
When he had that little fake fro in the front.
I'm gonna let it go.
Man units.
No way.
It sounds more masculine. Carvey said, yeah, I'm getting some wave. Look, he doing a little thing.
Hey.
I'm gonna get a few little.
Well, Doc, I feel sorry for you. If you sweat, you're gonna have Elmer's running all down your face. You're gonna have Elmer's glue all down his face.
He said he getting a few.
People get fake teeth, like literally.
Bruh.
Almost fake now.
No. Teeth are a necessity because you gotta have them to eat, fam. Well, you supposed to, because you gotta. Carvey said if his teeth go bad, he getting fake teeth. If his hair go bad, he getting fake hair. And his rationale, if my leg get cut, I'm getting a fake leg. I mean, I get the train of thought. I really do. But I don't know, Carvey. I think it's some places that you gotta draw the line, fam. Dude said. I'm just telling y'all right now. So how is your dad aging? Does he have like male pattern baldness cropping up? His forehead. His forehead is heavy. he said his dad got a yes, a cadet line,
I
a
pledge
yes, a
allegiance.
salute line.
Wow.
It was, bro. I was because look, and that's somebody who has a big old forehead. We ain't gonna let you can't go too hard on your daddy. But yeah, I saw a bro the other day. Like I couldn't understand. I couldn't make like no sense at all out of what was going on with his hairline. Like, cause like it didn't look like it was cut that far back. It looked like that was natural, but it was way back. Like Mississippi.
Back into time.
Exactly. Like another island. Like
Man.
it was way back. And I'm like,
wow.
You should probably just cut that.
Yeah, you might want to.
But he had a head full of hair. But it
go.
was way. It's way.
You gotta let that thing go, Doc.
Carvey talking about it's hard to let go. See.
Oh, it's over.
So Carvey said somebody got their locks pulled out.
Yank, yank.
And they had, and so it was just
holding on to,
just a little bit.
Like
it's just
was doing this. That's what the locks was doing. Kind of like how Batman was. If I could just reach my utility bill.
Well, I know it's just funny to me how bruh's hair is so long and sister's hair is short. Like you literally will see brothers in the store and they got locks or they got just long braids or their hair just long and pulled back. And they girls' hair be a whole bunch of weave. No, Carvey said, or bonnet. I'm just saying, like, I just be looking at the juxtaposition of, like, the bruhs got long hair and the sisters got, like, a pile of weave in. But, you got to make it happen. You got to make it happen. All right, well, now that I have been sidetracked wholly and completely. Oh, first opportunity to see you. Dang, my glasses is nasty. First opportunity to see you since Keon's service. Just want to tell you your rendition of A Change is gonna come. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very well done.
Oh, thank you.
Very well done. Thank you. Well, later I was ribbing in the car.
So you got jokes. She got jokes. Okay.
Because I was doing like riff lines, like ooh, 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 ooh. I was doing that in the car. I was adding extra, little riffing in there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, somebody like riffing a little bit, like
riff-a-roo. Riff-a-roo.
Yeah. But I did. I appreciated the ability to make the song your own.
Yeah.
You did good. And did you sing more than once?
No, I sung one.
Just once. Did you like?
Oh, I sung at the end.
You did sing at the end.
Yeah.
I thought you did because somebody was looking around to see who was singing.
Yeah.
And they thought it was the man from Pitts that was standing up at the
that's my
mic. Okay. And I was like, that is not that man.
No.
And I think it was Rep Meyer. She was like, is that Jermaine?
Yeah.
But she looked up there and it didn't look like you was singing. Mm. But I was like, no, that's Jermaine.
Yeah.
And so we kept staring at the man from Pitts like
his lips ain't moving.
Yeah, like, nah, that's not him. Yeah. So yeah, bro, you had fans at the service.
I appreciate it. That's actually one of the joints that I actually reproduced. That's on my project that I'm working on. So that was a song that Keon always told me that his family loved to hear me sing because I sung it at his grandmother's funeral.
Okay.
And he told me every time he saw me, man, my family watched that videotape of you all the time. And,
well, I like I said, hadn't talked to you since the service. Yeah. And great job. It was he was really good. I mean, and I'm glad somebody on the team was being productive. Yeah. Because Carvey, on the other hand, was exchanging phone numbers with people.
Yeah.
He was getting numbers at a funeral. I'm like, Debo tapped me and was like, you see your boy, right? I was like, what? And I saw Carvey like whispering, psst, 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 Carvey P. And I was like, what's going on? And he was exchanging phone numbers. He was getting numbers at a funeral. People was like, what? Tell him whose number you got. I don't remember. Whose number did you get? Keon's auntie.
It was Keon's auntie, so I can send her some pictures.
It was Keon's aunt, so he could send her some pictures.
Clean it up.
All I'm saying is Debo said. See, that's how rumors get started.
Yeah, ain't it?
Because Debo said.
Suit was making too much noise.
Whose suit was making too much noise? Debo's suit?
You said his suit was squishing?
You said Debo's suit was making noise. What kind of suit makes noise?
He said it was swishing.
What kind of suit are you gonna get?
That cat had on aluminum foil. He
Tomorrow.
had on aluminum foil.
Wait a minute.
Oh my
He
God.
said Debo's suit
Was making too much noise. Turn it down, Debo. It's too loud. That cat was.
You go get roasted tomorrow. You might as well come in here. You might as well come in here ready.
He said
bring
his suit.
Band-Aids and everything. Dog gonna kill you
subbing.
tomorrow.
Hey, he said his suit was subbing. It was subbing with 6x9s and tweeters. So the suit was banging.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that before.
Shiny
His-
suit shine.
He said his suit was making
Too much noise. Dude, he said it was overpowering his voice. He couldn't hear through the suit. Dude, that's hilarious, man.
Carvey. Carvey. You gonna have problems tomorrow,
boy.
bruh.
Oh, you
I'm
done
gonna do what I can, but he said Debo deserve it.
Dude.
That's a first.
Hey, he said his suit was all through the service. Like, tone it down, man.
He said his suit was too noisy. No, see, he was smooth with it. He didn't say it was too loud.
Hey,
Because then you start talking about, well, what color was it? Well, what was good? He said it was too noisy.
See, and when it's loud, it's color. When it's noisy, it's sound.
It's all kind of stuff.
Crickets and animal noises.
It's all kind of stuff going on. So, bruh,
Yeah, shushing and all types of stuff.
I didn't realize that this was a thing, but Carvey done put us up on
Oh
game.
my God.
You can have on a noisy suit.
Too much noise.
It made me think of this thing I've mentioned it before. Keisha said she was watching some show, and this rich man was on the show, and they was talking about like the differences between being rich and poor. And so they was asking him like, what are some things that you think of, that connotate the difference between rich and poor? And so dude said, I hear Carolyn. I don't know what she's laughing at, but Carolyn is dying in the reception area. But the rich man said, well, like people that's poor, they wear like rough fabrics. And I was like, rough fabrics? He's like, yeah, their fabrics be so rough. So I started thinking about it. And
Here he go. It's a home and popping.
So Debo.
Oh, come on to the mic, D.
the
Come on to
studio.
the mic, D.
Oh,
He got at you. Now, just for
Debo.
a disclaimer, I couldn't hear. I was on the keyboard. So I couldn't hear.
Don't try to get out of it.
What had happened?
Somebody said your suit was noisy.
He couldn't hear over the noise.
I couldn't hear over Carvey and that old lady who was rapping too.
Because I said
I knew you
that
had something to do with it.
I said Carvey was getting numbers at the
And
funeral.
he was.
And I said, but Debo told me,
Yeah.
look at your boy. And so Carvey said Debo didn't really know what was going on because he couldn't hear over his suit. Because his suit
was too noisy.
Because he had on a noisy suit.
Homer leaned over and said, "Hey man, can I look at your obituary?" I said, "No problem, man." He says, You know you shouldn't be asleep on the front row. I said, I wasn't asleep. Come on, man. She had to wake you up to give you the obituary, man. I'm sitting right there looking at you. Yeah, it was an interesting day, but Carvey caught my attention. Yeah, Carvey caught my attention. She just kept talking to Carvey.
But he already,
she was
Carvey,
skinning and grinning.
Carvey
and
already
laughing.
said that was Keon's auntie.
No.
That was
No,
asking.
no.
When did
So
you
they
find that out? When you
shade.
called her? Because I'm
Later on that night.
later on that night.
Later on that night, he found out. Oh yeah, Keon's my nephew.
No,
But,
I'm sorry. I was in my office minding my business, and somebody said, "So you had on a noisy suit?" Huh? What are y'all talking about? One of those times I didn't have the radio up, I wasn't listening. But you know how the staff is here; they can't, let it ride.
Oh, she got you.
I had just have never heard of that. A noisy suit.
Yeah, we just talked about a noisy suit the other day.
Who?
Remember the Swisher suit? They were talking about swish.
Well, oh, okay.
Yeah, so
But,
that was
you
that
know,
was.
that
But
fabric-
I didn't have on one of those.
Debo, somebody said, man, that your suit said out the gate. I don't know where it came from, but I was on the keyboard. I could have found the note he was singing, but I didn't hear it. I was way up there.
Really, man? That's what we doing.
Hey, Carvey started it. Carvey started it.
So I had on the suit the day before. Was it singing too?
See,
Yeah,
evidently not.
That was the luncheon. That was the luncheon.
So evidently not.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah.
Nobody said it was noisy.
No, man, it was whispering. It was like footsteps in the dark. That suit was
The day before.
the day before. Yeah, it was footsteps in the
And
dark.
then the next one
Then the
was-
next day was.
And I really want to get clarification about
Yes.
what makes a suit noisy because this is the first time.
Too much
Yes,
switch.
Carvey, could you elaborate
There are two movements.
so I'll know where I should and should not be wearing this suit?
Carvey says
Listen,
stiff fabric.
if you could take your pants and stand them up by themselves, don't wear the suit. There's too much
Your
noise.
pants can't stand up.
There's too much noise. I'm just saying for anybody, if you got some
Well,
suit
first of
pants
all-
that stand up without you in them,
Wait.
Oh,
First
Don't
of
wear the
all,
suit.
he couldn't have heard it that
I
long
can't stand y'all. I
because
can't.
the funeral was almost over when he got there. So he was late. I had to hit him with that one.
He was in the back.
What was he doing in the back?
Him and Keisha was sitting in the
Duh.
back. I went in, I
if
came
your
and got
pants
him.
leg is like this and you went in them,
They was in the back.
Mano, really?
See,
You know we can hear you, right?
your pants
Talking
leg
about
is
if your
like
pants
this,
leg like this
and you
ain't
not in
them.
them, don't
What?
wear the suit.
did the suit feel noisy to you?
No, it did not. I don't know why y'all
When
coming,
you put it
coming
on,
for
it
me.
was like flashlight, all type of songs going on.
Really?
Parliament and
Wow.
Father,
I'm gonna go back to where I was.
What is
'cause
that, Garvey?
You say your suit was singing Nate. No, Lord, I don't know.
You know,
Lord, I do.
Nate, if I didn't have a friend
Like you, you said your suit was singing Nate Lucky Park.
y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. You know, Nate listening right now.
Oh, Garvey, you said his suit was singing, Lord, I don't know.
So when I play that in the morning,
If I didn't have a friend like you. Ah, that's just,
y'all wrong, man.
I'm just, ooh, it's,
So you finally got you a good one. You riding it, ain't you? Yeah,
Our
this is a
Carvey
good
on
one.
fire today.
I mean, we
Yeah.
should sing that on the way out the
I'm
break.
glad.
Lord, I don't know.
Is it break time? And I'll sing my part.
If I
No,
didn't have a friend like you.
It's
Come
a-
on,
it's a good tune.
Debo.
Carried me when I was down.
Uh,
don't know. I
you
don't
know
know the
what?
words.
I don't even know what to say. That this was.
Sing it, Mano.
See, here we go.
If
Here we
I
go,
didn't
riffing.
have a
Dude.
friend like you.
Here we go. Here we Okay, we got a caller.
He always there.
We got to take a break.
Let me know how much he cares. When I really needed your help. Help your children. Oh, see, wait. I'm gonna give him his part, but you helping him,
Hey,
man.
Carvey just opened
You
this
are
thing
hating
up,
on
man.
me.
Carvey opened this thing up.
So the suit had different songs.
Yeah, had different songs. They're a different position
So
when he stand up.
stood up.
Father! When he sit down, it's
Lord, I don't know what I do. Wow, okay. I see what time it is.
Carvey started it. He's on fire over there. Somebody put him out.
Y'all better check on Carolyn. She might be laying on the floor out there. Bye. I'm going back where I was. Mind my business.
Let me go to break, Lord, so I can get recomposed and see if I can find me a noisy suit for next week.
Oh my God.
I'll be right back. If you're a bad players when you see. All right, folks, welcome back to the show. So there were a number of text messages that came through that I missed. One text message said, "Good afternoon. Hey, Dion." She said, "I love the song he sang. I wished I would have recorded it."
Thank you.
And then so yeah, she was asking more about the song. Does he have the song on a CD or online? And then she said something about Debo suit, the old nylon jogging suit pants. Somebody else said rough fabric is unbecoming. Somebody else said, y'all better leave Ike alone. We had somebody that held through the break. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Yes, good evening, Michelle. I was going to ask you tomorrow, when you come to work, can you by chance drive down Atkinson and then probably go down Keith to Houghton? Because this morning I seen a whole lot of non-black, barefoot, tuna fish, mud kickers, and two-piece bra and panty sets. And I know they're trying to start their gentrification, but that's not what the North Side is about. And I know Crowley and Cavalier Johnson came with all that money, so maybe they can help Malele Cox with that, because I be calling these telephone offices and ain't nobody answering no phones. But when tomorrow I was going to ask you if you could, because, some of them look like they got monkeypox and chickenpox times 10, and they're walking down there barefooted.
So is there a time that is a good time to roll through there?
Like right when you come to work.
Okay.
Just go past WNO and you're gonna see it. And I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but I know they're trying to gentrify. And I had one walk to my car and I said, "No, boo boo, I don't do nothing with black souls and two-piece bra panty sets from Target for $12.99. So you got to keep it pushing." And their hair was real matted to their head, and they had these big old red spots all over their body, all up and down Atkinson, all down the Houghton. Yes, selling that tuna fish cat. I'm pretty sure it's a sardine can parachuting and skydiving from that bad boy by any means necessary.
Okay.
And when you get a chance, go up to Midtown, because they had some of them girls up there that look that's our color, asking for $1. And see, I always thought they said, the grandma said, as long as you got a cat in the mouth, you should always have $1,000 on the side. But if you're asking for $1, something must be wrong. But tomorrow morning, when you get a chance, just drive up Atkinson and go down Houghton, and I guarantee you will see a mud kicker with no shoes on.
Mud kicker, okay.
Mud, yeah. They look like they came from Greenfield and migrated over here to 53206, because they're gentrifying.
Yeah.
But don't bring the worst of the worst to this side of town, because that's not what we're about.
Yes, sir.
Two-piece bra and panty set.
I got you, bro. All right, thank you, fam. Mud kickers, though.
Mud kickers and two-piece. No biscuit, just the two-piece and mud kickers. No biscuit, man. And tuna fish.
Okay. That's like the first time I heard somebody use the phrase gutter snipes. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, we said back in the day.
That just sounds so awful.
Dude, gutter snipes.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Oh, gutter snipes? You know what gutter is, right? Well, snipes. So you put gutters and snipes together. It's two of the worst.
We'll bring it out. Yeah, but the first time I heard somebody say that, like, oh my God, I literally was like, what? And he was like, you ain't never heard that before? I was like, no. I was like, oh, that sounds so reckless and raggedy. Oh, I hate that phrase. But yeah, later I would learn. Like, I think that's a Milwaukee thing too, because I had never heard it before. But all right. So now that I have laughed until I cannot laugh anymore, it was. I feel sorry for you tomorrow, though, Garvey. I'm telling you right now. You gonna get got tomorrow.
You gonna get it.
You might want to bring your mom and daddy up here with you tomorrow.
Jack, you in trouble. I'm gonna be listening.
You might want to bring your mom and daddy with you tomorrow. He might go easy, but it's coming. Garvey like, I ain't scared. Would you say, yeah?
y'all just threw that one off.
I see you. I see you. I'm worried though, but I see you. All right. So it's a number of stories I wanted to hit today. Y'all made me laugh so hard. I'm sweating and fogging up my glasses. But there was a number of stories I wanted to hit today, many of which have a undertone of bias and race that is nothing short of just frustrating. So one of the first things that I want to mention, I was talking politics earlier, and there was a tweet that Roland Martin ended up spending a lot of time talking about. I don't think I'm gonna play the clip just for time purposes, but you can actually go to YouTube. You know, Roland Martin has his own, what is it, Black Star Network. But you can just type in Roland Martin and type in the name Bruce Pearl. Now, some people might be like, Bruce Pearl, that sounds familiar. Others of you are like, I know exactly who Bruce Pearl is. Jermaine just did the motion. It's a basketball coach down at Auburn University in Alabama. So Bruce Pearl, coming off of, Kamala Harris, um, and everything that's going on with the DNC, he decided to retweet or comment on a tweet that had been on Facebook. So Tom Cotton, who is special all by himself, said in a tweet, and I'm not calling it X, in a tweet, that Kamala Harris is so extreme, she wants to kick you off the health insurance you get through your job. Like a true San Francisco radical, she wants everyone, even illegal aliens, on a government plan. Okay. So Bruce Pearl, head coach, basketball coach down at Auburn, he decides to weigh in on the tweet posted by Tom Cotton. So he says, thank you for pointing this out, Senator Cotton. Except my guess is that, like many of her socialist, woke, progressive beliefs, she's now changing them or hiding them to get elected. We won't get fooled again. Okay. So Roland Martin was the first political pundit, um, political talker who brought light to this comment in the fact that Bruce Pearl uses the word woke. And woke is now a dog whistle for Black, for race, for racial animus. Anytime you are saying I'm conscientious about past transgressions, past issues of, segregation, or past issues of, discrimination, you woke, and people have sought to demonize the word and make people feel bad, for saying that they are present and they can see that they are paying attention to what's happening around them. So the thing that Roland Martin pointed out, and I was going to play the clip, he got one or two, little words in there that I didn't have time to like get them bleeped out or whatever. But the thing that Roland Martin points out is that as you take this shot at Kamala Harris, your basketball team is lily black. As you talk about Kamala Harris and her woke politics, your basketball team, if you pull up the images, are lily black. I mean, for real. Like, your starting lineup, the cast that's taking you, you know, to the party, to the dances, is all brothers. And so Roland Martin couldn't help but notice you want to use a term to disparage. I mean, have you ever seen the Auburn basketball team? Come look at this. No, the boys, college, Auburn University. Look at this basketball team. Look at it's predominantly black team. And you know, so you, because one of the things that Roland said is, so if this is what you say on Twitter, what do you say when nobody's watching? What do you say behind the scenes while you coaching this predominantly black team? What do you say? And then, so what? These fellas know in order to be on the team, they got to listen to a certain amount of disparaging politically of people talking about George Floyd and the ability to be woke after that situation occurred or to be aware of what's going on around you. So one of the things that Roland Martin talked about was having people fall back and say, nah, I don't want to be recruited by Auburn University if Bruce Pearl is going to be the coach. I don't want to go or send my child where this is the type of individual that's leading the team. Because one of the things that I have said, and a number of people consistently say, we are not going to let other people define what words are good and bad words in this community. You're not going to take something that we understood was the ability to save your life. When like bros would leave each other. And one of the phrases that they would say is stay woke. That meant a whole array of things. Everything from stay conscious, stay black, stay aware of your circumstances, understand where you're going, understand where you're driving, where you're moving around, you know, what it's like for people in these communities. So when you would leave the company of another person that was black, particularly I used to hear it amongst men in my family, bros would say to one another, stay woke. Stay woke. As you see the black movement and the black power movement, somebody said he used to be at UW Milwaukee. Oh my God, that is Bruce Pearl. I didn't even think about that. Oh my Lord, you are, it didn't even register. And I knew it just didn't register. Thank you so much for sending me that. So people gonna try to turn that phrase into code and dog whistle for you worried about black people's issues. You worried about things that impact, you know, communities of color. And yet you steady smiling in the parents of these black athletes to try to have a winning program. Like all of that is just so crazy to me. So I appreciated Roland for flagging it because now it's actually getting traction in the media. Now people are actually talking about it. And you got some social media sites where young black athletes or prospective athletes are talking about what's a non-starter for them in terms of being recruited or going to a particular school. So again, you know, as we push a particular type of politics and party, you can work for us. You can help us get championships. You can, you know, keep us in the limelight. But Colin Kaepernick, we can't care about your issues. We can't have you talking about, you know, what's important to you. We can't have you talking about like the quality of life for you and your people. We can't have that. So I just wanted to mention that. And then there was another case. Like today is going to be one of those scratch your head like Lord have mercy kind of shows. I can just tell y'all that right now. So it was good that there was laughter on the front end, because as I was looking at some of these stories, I was just like, come on, y'all. Many of you might have seen this morning where the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, is being called to the carpet about raids that have been conducted at the homes of Latino members of the community in Texas, under the guise of making sure that there are no voting violations, no ethical concerns, or no fraud being committed. The Attorney General in Texas, Ken Paxton, started launching undercover operations and investigations into some organizations like LULAC. LULAC, which is one of the nation's oldest civil rights organizations for Latinos. They started going to members of the LULAC leadership and, you know, people that's a part connected to the organization, and searching their homes, talking about possible voter fraud. So they went into this one woman, 87-year-old Lydia Martinez, 87 years old, lives in San Antonio. And they said she's been a member of LULAC for about 35 years and has worked to expand voter registration among seniors and veterans in South Texas. On Tuesday, 87-year-old Mrs. Martinez said there was a knock at her door early in the morning. And then she was greeted by 9 police officers in tactical gear and firearms who said they were executing a search warrant. So you have come to her home under the guise of investigating voter fraud. Why you got tactical gear on? Why you got tactical gear on? This is white collar crime, if there's any crime at all. So you don't show up at Mar-a-Lago to get the stolen federal documents from the Trump compound that is Mar-a-Lago. He gets a courtesy phone call. Hey, y'all, just want to let Don know that we really got to get those papers back, and we're getting pressure. So we need to schedule an appointment to come get them. And next Tuesday at 10. So we'll be there next Tuesday. No, he doesn't have to be there. Don't worry. Yep, he stole the documents, and folks got their panties in a bunch about it. But no, don't worry about it. Doesn't have to be there. We'll just come on in and pick those up. So Donald Trump is given the courtesy of not being at home to be embarrassed when law enforcement comes in to rifle through his things to get these stolen federal documents. But this 87-year-old woman, Mrs. Martinez, says that when they came in her house, they seized her phone, her computer, her personal calendar, blank voter registration forms, and her certificate to conduct voter registration. Okay. They then proceeded, because it's early in the morning, so Miss Martinez is not dressed. They proceeded to bring Miss Martinez out of her house while they searched. And she was like, what are y'all looking for? They stand her in her yard, in her bedclothes, for all of her neighbors to see that there is basically a police raid going on at her home. That's what they do. You got it? There it is. Hang on 1 second. You got them? Okay. So that's what they do. They basically work to humiliate this woman in front of her neighbors. So people don't know. Nobody is thinking you got this level of police presence because of a voting scam or election fraud. You got tactical gear on, like you about to go in. See, that's that thing about giving police this use Army surplus tactical gear in some cases. You want to run in like you G.I. Joe, but you hear an 87-year-old, and they know this woman is 87. They know exactly who she is. So you want to go run up in her house with tactical gear and firearms about possible voting violations. So one of the things that she said is that, this is a free country. This is not Russia. How do you get to do this? If you want to investigate me, investigate me. But what do you think you're getting ready to find at my home? That you come up in my house with tactical gear on. So LULAC is now coming after the attorney general, who's a Republican in Texas. And they basically have said that they want the Justice Department to investigate his Office for Voting Rights Act violations. He's carrying out illegal searches premised on voter fraud, is what they believe. And they said that, quote, this action echoes a troubling history of voter suppression and intimidation that has long both targeted Black and Latino communities, particularly in states like Texas, where demographic changes have increasingly shifted the political landscape. The Justice Department has confirmed receipt of a letter that LULAC sent asking for an investigation. They won't comment any further, but there's like, yeah, they wrote to us to request that we look into this. So I can't beat you and somebody said, but Latinos for Trump. I mean, come on now. We see Blacks for Trump too. Even though it's more Latinos voting for Trump probably than Black folks. But just think about that. Like, I can't beat you at the ballot fair and square, okay? Even in the thinnest of margins, I lose a vote by 10,000. I lose the race by 20,000 votes, Wisconsin, Detroit numbers. So I put in laws and rules that you can't give somebody. It's 90-some degrees outside today. Schools had to close because of the lack of AC. What if today, because today is Tuesday, what if today was an election day and we were in the state of Georgia? People have intentionally been kept in lines because, we've reduced the number of polling locations in your city, in your precinct, in your ward. We've reduced the number of polling locations, which means instead of having 15 locations, you got 5. But all of those thousands of people that need to vote, they are being funneled to just 5, which increases your wait time. Now, some people going to get so frustrated, so hot, so tired, I got to get back to work, that they leave. And they're like, man, I got to go. Or I take medication, like my mother took medication for her cancer that didn't allow her to be in the sun for long periods of time. So when my mom was out, she'll have that big hat on, giving her shade, and she would have long sleeves on because of the medication that she took. So I create situations which make it untenable for you to be able to vote. And then I still lose because people stay in line. People are like, I don't care what you're trying to do. I'm voting. And so, Republicans kick back and like, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So these little laws we put in place to make it harder for you to vote, that's not working. We're going to scare you out of not voting. And this is reminiscent of the 40s and the 50s and the early part of the 60s when the Klan would ride through neighborhoods, to scare people from trying to go vote. They would let people know the day before, 2 or 3 days before, if you show up at a polling location, you're going to have a problem. Your house might get burned down. Somebody might be killed. Do not try to vote. And people did it anyway. So again, as we talk about what's on the ballot and how you fight back and what do you have to do. And the woman, I listened to her, the 87-year-old, I listened to her tell her story. And she told it and got almost to the end before her voice cracked. And she broke a little bit. And she talked about these people trying to scare her and intimidate her from being someone who advocates for voting rights for communities of color. At the very end, she managed to get through the whole interview. And at the very end, the vulnerability showed up. And she broke. And you can see it in her face and you can hear it in her voice. She broke. That's what some of these people are going to try to do. That's why they have been training people to be at the polls, to challenge people when they try to cast a ballot. They're trying to break you. But before the interview concluded, 87-year-old Mrs. Martinez had this last little tinge of sparkle in her eye. And you saw her spine straighten and her voice steady. And the message was clear. You're not going to break me. You're not embarrassing me, because when you leave, I'm going to tell everybody what you was in here doing and the foolishness of how all y'all look. Running up into a house of somebody almost 90 years old with tactical gear, like y'all was about to go fight a drug cartel. What Beyonce say? What was that? What's the song about her soul? You won't break my soul. You won't break it. That's the level of determination that when we think about this upcoming election, and I mean every ballot and race that's connected to that presidential race, to those U.S. Senate seats, we gonna have to pay attention and be engaged. But I had to mention that. That story got me this morning. That really bothered me when I saw it, because put yourself in that position. Any of us, y'all. You go to your door. It's 8:00 in the morning. The last thing you're thinking about is 9 officers showing up at your house in tactical gear. See, this is how people also get hurt, because human nature, you upset. But I also got to talk real quickly about another story that was flagged for me. I had not seen this one. But this was a story that took place in June of this year, at least kind of the conclusion part of it. Took place in June. And this takes place in Seattle, Washington. And the story goes like this. An off-duty security guard accused of shooting and killing a teenager who was trying to return an airsoft gun at a Renton sporting goods store pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and second-degree assault on Monday morning. About 50 people, almost all family and friends of 17-year-old Hazrat Ali Rouhani, filled the benches inside the Malang Regional Justice Center in Kent for Aaron Brown Myers' arraignment. Before Myers entered the King County Superior Courtroom, his attorneys requested reporters not be allowed to film or photograph Myers due to concerns for his safety and that of his 2 teenage children. So we need his 2 teenage children to be okay. But he has shot and killed a 17-year-old young teenager and shot him in the back. But we need to be worried about his safety, and we need to be worried about the safety of his children. Since Myers' arrest, his attorney said there have been a considerable number of threats posted online against the 51-year-old. And so what they have said is that the prosecutors have accused Myers of pointing his Glock 19 at 3 17-year-old boys, including Rouhani, after suspecting the trio was about to stage an armed robbery at Renton Big Five sporting goods store on June 5th. The boys were heading into the store that night to return malfunctioning airsoft guns, court records show. Myers allegedly tackled one of the boys before shooting Rouhani at least 7 times, hitting him 6 times in the back. Court records show. Judge Johanna Bender, through an interpreter translating court proceedings in Pashto for Rouhani's family, invited several people from the courtroom gallery to respond to the Myers attorney's request. One person said, "We should allow the media to take footage. We want the community to recognize who the person is to make sure if in the future he gets out, other people are safe from him and people take precautions." Bender granted Myers' attorney's request. At the end of the day, while the judge played like she was entertaining what the folks wanted, that no, why would he not be identified? She granted his attorney's request, saying she was concerned about, quote, any escalation in violence that would lead to more tragedy and more harm. The anger and sorrow of the community impacted by these events is very understandable, she said. While I have tremendous empathy for your pain, I ask that you not take any action that would encourage others to seek revenge. So he's being held on $2 million bail, but they want him to wear an electronic home monitoring device with GPS if he's able to post bonds, surrender his firearms, blah, blah, blah. I know this family could not believe it, because how many Black folks are granted the ability not to have their face shown when they commit a crime for fear of retaliation? Wait. Okay, wait. Yeah, none. The best friend of Rouhani's father said the community has been fearful since the shooting. His 5 children who grew up with Rouhani are still in shock. His wife now frequently calls to ask him to come home early. He drives Uber. She's worried about somebody shooting him. Like, the community is just, and these are Muslim people. So this white guy sees these dark-skinned Muslims, assumes that they are there to rob a store that sells firearms. So it's not uncommon that people would walk in the store with some type of firearm looking equipment in hand, because they sell it. Just like the young brother who has the air pistol or BB gun in the Walmart, and folks say he's trying to shoot somebody, and this young boy ends up being shot by the police. Because what did I just say yesterday? Some reason, some way, somehow, the right to bear arms is not extended to Black people. Castle Doctrine, stand your ground. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend's case. The officers that killed Breonna Taylor, and the officer who forged the warrant, who falsified the information on the warrant. He was going to be held accountable for Breonna Taylor's death, because had you not lied on the warrant, those officers would have never been at that apartment. Judge came back and said, yeah, the reason why Breonna Taylor is dead is because her boyfriend shot a gun while they were sleeping in their home and somebody bust up in their house. He was trying to protect him and his girlfriend, but evidently the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment, has a disclaimer with an asterisk at the footnote that says, except for black people. No black people. That's why I even think about, my own son, who is concealed carry holder, and my son always got his gun on him. But my son with his gun on him is not protection. You are a threat. This boy was in high school, getting ready to be a senior next year. This child, and you shot him 6 times in the back. You shot him a total of 7 times, but 6 bullets in the back. So what crime were you stopping shooting this child in his back?
My question is, you couldn't have felt like your life was in danger at that point as he was running away, because he's not running towards you, he's running away. So for you to continue to fire,
and he's only running because you done tackled one of his friends,
and he don't know what's going on.
This guy, he don't have no clue what's happening.
Yeah,
with all of the hate going on, this could have been Muslim hate. Yeah. You have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, and then to shoot him like that, shoot him down like that, like they wouldn't even do a dog like that. You wouldn't do an animal like that, but to shoot him down like that, trying to be a hero or whatever he called himself doing, it's just so sad. It's just sad, that people take the law into their own hands.
And you was wrong.
And you was wrong on top of that.
You took it into your own hands and you were wrong. You made assumptions because of the look of these young men, probably the race or ethnicity of these young men. Yeah. You made assumptions and you were wrong. And now you want your children protected. The sins of the father, though.
The nerve of the people, though.
You want you're, and the judge agrees. But, just like the foolishness up in whatever county that was here in Wisconsin with the white man slapping the hand of the black principal away from his daughter at graduation.
Yeah. I saw that, yeah.
And then the news media comes out with this nonsense about we're not going to tell the father's information because we want to spare the child.
Yeah,
this girl about to graduate from high school.
Yeah.
In 5 seconds, she grown. Yeah. But we sparing her. But don't nobody never worry about sparing other folks' families when they parents or they family members get out here and do something stupid.
So was the guy charged?
Yeah, he was charged. Yeah, he was charged. Like I said, they got him on $2 million bond.
Got him on $2 million bond. Okay.
And or bail right now. He hasn't said it. But it's just the idea that I don't want anybody to retaliate against my children.
But you can take out somebody else's child. Unbelievable.
And there will be no efforts around remorse because then that means that I knew that what I did was out of order.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be no I'm sorry's. So I just had to mention that one. And then the last one, and then I need to be done with this line of stories because it's way too frustrating. But well, okay, too. And then I know I can't breathe. So the officers that were involved in beating the young brother, what was his name? The Memphis Tyree Nichols. So those officers, and brothers, was a part of this clip. The second one has now appeared before a federal judge, has pled guilty to his involvement. So this is Emmett Martin. We got Desmond Mills Jr., who pled guilty back in November. They pled guilty to violating the civil rights of Tyree Nichols, ultimately resulting in his beating death just, feet away from his home. He was just trying to make it home. remember that. So back in November, when Desmond Mills changed his plea to guilty, he agreed to cooperate with prosecutors, but he's still facing up to 15 years. So we'll see what happens. Tyree Nichols' mother, just talks about, again, this was a traffic stop. And they pull this young brother out of the car. Cameras catch them kicking, punching, hitting, and beating him on a traffic stop. You never see him be aggressive in the whole situation. Mr. Martin, Emmett Martin, who pled guilty, they said he was driven by anger, admits that he violated Mr. Nichols' civil rights, used excessive force. Quote, said he was driven by fear when he later attempted to cover that up, fear of the consequences of what he had done. The other officers, Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Justin Smith, some of these brothers are a member of Omega Psi Phi, which further sickened me when I learned that, have pleaded not guilty to federal and state charges connected to Nichols, who was also Black. All of the officers involved were Black. All of them put on administrative leave before eventually being fired. Ben Crump is representing the family in this case. He was quoted as saying the dominoes are starting to fall. And they supposedly pulled him over for reckless driving. But there was no evidence to ever support that stop. This brother sensing I'm in trouble, he starts running. When the police catch him, just 1 block away from his house, they kicked him in the head, beat him with the batons as he called out for his mother. All of this was caught on video. And the video piece was the crazy part because it was video up on light poles. It wasn't necessarily body camera video. It was video that the police didn't realize. It was street cams, eyes in the sky. So finally, some justice for Tyree Nichols. You just think about how long this stuff takes, though, to happen. Because one other case that caught my eye, the January 6th riots. Remember the first dude you see when that brother, that's the officer, is now we learn redirecting this mob away from where the legislators were. And there's this one main guy in the front. He's the lead. They said he was the very first person to breach the inside of the Capitol. First person to get in the door. He just got sentenced. It's been 4 years. This happened in 2021. He just got sentenced. He caught 4 years, was not quite 4 years, almost 4 years though, but he caught 4 years in prison for what he did. 4 years. Guy by the name of Michael Sparks. They said that the weeks leading up to the Capitol attack, he had been consuming and regurgitating right-wing lies about the last presidential election. He was sentenced to 53 months in prison. And he basically told the judge that I am an American citizen who believes to this day that we are in tyranny. The election in 2020, he said, was, quote, taken from the American people. The judge, who is a Trump supporter, said to this guy, and I quote, a lot of us would like to see our country grapple with different challenges differently. But basically, you don't get to take the law into your own hands. You don't get to interfere with the foundational governance of this country. You don't get to do it that way. This is what the judge says as a Trump supporter. So understand this when it relates to January 6th and circling it back real quick to Donald Trump. More than 1,400 defendants have been charged in connections with the January 6th attack. More than 1,000 have been convicted. Sentences have ran from a few days up to the longest sentence, which was Enrique Tarrio. He caught 22 years in federal prison. He is the former like leader of the Proud Boys. He caught 22 years. Now remember what Donald Trump has said, that should he win office, that he is going to free these people from prison. He's going to pardon them. He's going to let them out. He will free them. So I said it was going to be that kind of day just because, like, these. Oh, caller, I didn't see you. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Oh, yes. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus.
Well, yes, that's what it feels like right now.
I know, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm good, JT. How are you today?
I'm doing quite well. I have been having some issues with my heart medications lately, but I'm doing okay now. Thank you for asking. And good afternoon to those distinguished gentlemen you have in the studio with you today. Good morning, my brothers.
Good afternoon, sir.
Distinguished.
Hey, Michelle, I just want to say quickly, bringing it back locally, not long ago, talking about Trump letting people go, white people go that do nasty stuff. Well, we have a judge here in Milwaukee. I'm sure everybody heard about this. The young man that was, I might as well say, beaten to death at that hotel downtown just because before the Republicans convention.
Right.
Now, it was four of them, right?
Yeah.
Well, the white one, I'm sure you heard about this. The white one had a bill of $50,000. The judge lowered it to $5,000. Someone came and posted a bill for $5,000, and now he's out walking around again. I haven't heard about the other three that looked like they was black or someone of color, but didn't hear about them being let go. Their bill being lowered. But yes, this white man that was the main culprit on top of this young man head and stuff like that.
So just so you know, JT, all of them had their bail reduced to $5,000.
Is that right?
Yep, all of them.
Oh man.
Yep.
That's stomach sickening. And like I feel for the family. I definitely feel for the family. That is just stomach sickening. And well, I just want to throw that in real quick, Michelle. Thank you for accepting my call. And everybody, try to have a good day.
All right, cool. JT, I appreciate it. I'll just remind people to remember this part of it. Bail is issued basically for one reason and one reason only: to ensure that defendants will return to court. And so when the crimes have been particularly egregious and awful, and people may believe that, other members of the public could be at risk, you see bail amounts that are set extremely high to make it difficult for people to be able to post. In the case of these people, they felt like that some of these people for sure didn't go to work with the intent of harming nobody, killing nobody, hurting nobody. Some of them, unfortunately and blindly, said, I was told to help by somebody in a management leadership role, and that's what I did. I basically was just following orders on my job. And, but we have to still not necessarily give a pass, because if somebody on your job tell you to rape a woman, you're not going to rape a woman. So stop that. At some point, your own common sense has to kick in, or your sense of right and wrong. Because as we know, common sense is not necessarily common. So your own sense of right and wrong should have prevailed. So while I feel for some of these brothers in particular, because you didn't set out that day to do any of this, but the white dude who was being all braggadocious and looking at the folks that was filming him saying, yeah, this is what you get when you do X, Y, and Z. Like, now his behind need to be thrown under a jail. There was no reason for him to but see, the judge, they couldn't reduce his bail and not reduce the brother's bail, is the way I just got to be honest. I looked at it. They couldn't reduce his and not reduce the brother's. So everybody's got reduced, is the way I look at it. But there's no way you don't look at the way that white guy behaved in that situation and was dang near proud of the way he was assaulting this man and teaching this man a lesson, that you don't understand that this is somebody that's not only capable of violence, they okay with violence if they can justify it in their mind. That type of person, you need to make it harder for them to be on the streets. Because some of them other brothers look like they ain't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. And they needed their job. The one brother that's been the most vocal on TV, like every time you hear this brother, you like, Lord have mercy. Because you know he didn't set out to harm this man and kill this man. But when you do not allow your own, I don't care what job you on, you have to be able to exercise your own judgment in some of these situations. You can't take, I wish he would have asked me. In fact, I would have been fighting him like, man, get off this man. What is you doing? Especially when they said they was hitting that man in the head. You hitting him in the head for what? Like, I would have been fighting dude. Like, no, the fight is with you. We about to whoop you. You out of order for this. And then I think about the women that were there. And, people love to say, women bring a certain level of empathy and a certain level of caring. And it was women that was talking slick in that video and telling people, don't be filming and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I want to go see them women now and ask them women, so what y'all got to say now? What y'all got to say now? Because the man hadn't hurt anybody. He hadn't damaged any property. What y'all got to say now? To the two chicks that was prominent in the video. I'm just saying. The last thing I'll end with, when you just think about the irony of some of all of this, I'm going to tie it right back around to election stuff, though. So Lakeisha and I are at the DNC. And we are walking, I don't know, we was going somewhere. And we walking. And Lakeisha looks over because I am terrible. I don't remember people. I don't remember faces. I am awful. If I have not talked to you a whole bunch of times, I'm going to struggle with your name. I may not remember you. And people that listen to the show know it. They'll be like, Michelle introduced herself to me like 4 times. Now, this is ridiculous. So we were walking. And Lakeisha said, there go Corey Wise. And I was like, what? She said, that's Corey. Well, I know the name. Corey Wise was one of the men that was exonerated in the Central Park rape case years and years and years ago. They spoke at the DNC. Al Sharpton had them on stage with him. They spoke at the DNC. And one of the things that they did was they wanted to just show the difference between the two candidates. And so for people that was like, oh, Kamala Harris, dirty, she arresting bros, she was doing this, she was doing that. Because of course she went and found innocent men and picked them up off the street and put them in jail. I mean, y'all know she did that, right? But while bros can fix their lips to say, I'm supporting Donald Trump, Corey Wise and 3 of the others of the 5 came to the DNC just to remind people that Donald Trump spent $85,000 on a full-page ad in the New York Times asking that these brothers, these boys, be killed. $85,000 in 1989 Can you do me a favor? Can you Google how much $85,000 in 1989 would be worth today? Yep. Just ask Google how much would $85,000 in 1989 be worth today? These teenagers, yep, 1989. These teenagers who were Black and Latino were arrested and charged for the rape and assault of a white female jogger. They served a total of 41 years in prison for a crime they did not commit. They were wrongly convicted in 1990 and exonerated when DNA evidence was matched to a different man who confessed to the attack, and their convictions were thrown out in 2002. How much is it? So Jermaine just pulled it up. The ad that Donald Trump bought in 1989 for $85,000. If that was money spent today, it would be the equivalent of having spent $215,612 today to run an ad in the paper.
And 10 cents.
And 10 cents.
Yeah, I had that on it too.
I see that. Because I just want you to understand how, because $85,000 today don't sound like a lot of money.
Yeah.
$85,000 in 1989 is the equivalent of over $215,000 today that he spent on a newspaper ad asking for these young youth to be killed.
If a person to spend that amount of money on a newspaper ad asking a question, he really, really, really wanted that to happen. He really wanted every bit of them kids to be killed, even though they was innocent.
In 2019, while Trump was president, the New York Times noted that he was asked at the White House about the ads he bought back in 1989. His usual and standard line, quote, "You have people on both sides of that. They admitted their guilt." He also said, according to the Times, that some of the prosecutors, they think that the city should have never settled the case. So we'll leave it at that. Just think about that. Just think about that.
Unbelievable.
You got DNA evidence and another individual who confesses. And we know that people confess under duress. These kids are alone. They don't have legal representation. They don't have their parents. And I'm sorry. I was raised for a portion of my life in New York. I understand what New York law enforcement can be like, even to this day. Amadou Diallo, I'm sure, would concur. So that was one part of the DNC that I can't believe that I forgot to walk past that brother. I mean, we literally were in arm's length of him. And Keisha looked dead at him and said, "That's Corey Wise. There go Corey." If there had been an execution ability, this brother might not even be here and would be gone for a crime that science said he did not commit. Science said it. And you are too small of an individual to concede, "I was wrong." But we don't like Kamala. But we can, blacks for Trump can overlook that. I got to take a break. I'll be right back.
baby. Boogie, baby.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. So look, if you all have not noticed, usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have to duck out for either the front end or the back end of my show because of another obligation that I have. And so normally Rep Myers would sit in for me. She is being held up and is not going to get here in time. So my colleagues.
The police got her.
The police ought to have her.
They,
but my
people
colleagues are going to look out for me so I
Yeah.
can duck out and take care of this. I appreciate it. I feel bad now.
You don't have to.
About
You don't
the
have
suit.
to feel bad. Not at all. Not at all. This will be my opportunity.
Yeah,
to
there you go. I was
actually
say
be
now
here.
is his opportunity to tell. Oh, he got the mic now.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm going to duck out. I'll be in the studio when I'm going to duck out.
And Carvey, she told you right. Bring your parents in with
So
you.
now
in
he
the
gotta go
morning.
to the bathroom.
Now Carvey has to duck out as well, right? No. Good afternoon. Certainly an honor, if you will, to sit in for the last portion of the show. Got Jermaine or Mano. I don't know. What do you prefer to be called, man?
Well, it depends on the settings.
Oh, really? So, like in this setting, what would it be?
In this setting, Alando.
Alando?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
My name is Alando that day, man.
That's not gonna happen, man. Not for me, you know. But never really picked your brain, man. I mean, I know you. I hear you interject and speak on certain things. Where are you at as far as the election, man? Where are you at right now?
Well, do you want the politically correct answer or do you want the straight from the hood answer?
I mean, shoot straight from the hip, man.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah,
and the
shoot
reason
from
I
the
say
hip.
that is because I know we were talking about some debate type stuff on
Mhm.
yesterday.
Yeah.
And just where do you fall in this whole piece?
Well, to be honest with you, I think both parties are lying. That's just what I think.
You think they're what?
Lying, both of them.
Okay.
Both parties. However, I don't believe in Trump's vision. I don't believe in how he's going about doing things. I've never seen anybody that's trying to get you to ride with them or to persuade you never smile. He's always complaining. He always has an issue with something.
He's always the victim.
He's always the victim.
Yeah.
Like even with the last interview that he just did, talking about the whole debate thing, and he's saying, I'll agree to do the debate even though they want to change things, and I think that the mics should be off, and why do they want to change the rules and all this other stuff, and he's saying that the country shouldn't be ran by a dumb person. So you calling her dumb? It's just the stuff he does and says. I can't believe.
When you look at the individual and the climate that he has brought to the United States of America in the way of politics.
Yeah.
What are you thinking on that?
I think that as far as him talking about make America great again, I have an issue with that.
Mm-hmm. There's a young man that just walked in studio that I'd love to invite to the counter here.
Oh, okay.
Because he
who is this guy? Who is this guy?
So
let me see who this guy is. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Get him a mic right there, Will.
You can't
don't sit that close to me.
Oh,
get on the end over there.
See, look.
Lord have mercy.
In case, as
how they do me.
As Jermaine say, in case I feel that thing.
You can feel that thing, Doc. That thing will make you, hey, man.
Wait. We were just talking about.
Carvey, I don't even want to know what that thing is.
No, don't worry about it.
Well, we were just talking, and I know you're a Republican, right? And we were just talking. Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Where are you at as far as the climate that your candidate has brought to the table, if you will, in the way of American politics? I think everything is so negative, and
Yep.
a lot of the, just name calling is just everything has to come down to a dog fight.
Yeah.
And it just it's not civilized anymore.
No, it's not civilized anymore. But you know what?
Do you agree that your candidate brought that to the table?
I would not even say that he brought it. And here's why, because you'll think it is a cop out, but I'm going to tell you why I think it's not a cop out. I think he is reflecting what a bunch of people have felt, right? That a lot of people who have been mad have felt like they got ignored, right? Now, it's not the way I behave, right? This is not the way I approach things. But when I travel the state, and I got 228,000 miles on my car, been to, I don't know how many counties in the state, right? When you see these folks, you go over to Vernon County where these people are milking cows. You got to milk them 3 times a day. They're doing 2-3 jobs to make ends meet. They want to stay in their community. Businesses have left. Nobody has brought businesses in. These are the folks that are,
and not to cut you off,
Yeah.
but I want to be certain that you're not insinuating that the last administration, or Biden's administration, is the reason that they're living that way.
No,
Because I would bid to differ.
No. I'm not telling you.
Okay.
I'm not saying
Just
that,
want to be certain.
because here's my thing. I think it really comes down to, it is not about an administration. I would say ever since NAFTA and even before, right? Use Milwaukee. Okay, I'm talking about Vernon County, but you can use any county in this state, right?
Okay.
We've always been a heavy manufacturing state, right? And you could get a mom and pop business that was doing heavy industry, whatever it was, and making good money. Could buy a car, could get a house, could take care of your kids, put a little money away, right? You don't get crime when everybody's got a job, right? You don't get crime when everybody can afford a car, right? I think this is all, I should say all. I think a lot of what we are experiencing is about people who are frustrated and feel like nobody has heard them, and they're out here hustling.
Yeah.
And what I also feel like is too often we think it's black folk out here who are only hustling, or it's Hispanic people who are only hustling. I go to the rural area and these people working 2-3 jobs and they are not even keeping their head above water. And it's an easy opportunity for people in politics, either side, to come and sell you that somebody else did it to you. Somebody else is the reason. And we wouldn't have people having success with this kind of message if it weren't for the fact that people are angry and frustrated and don't know where to vent it to.
So I have a quick question for you. Well, for all of us. If the whole country was built under one nation, under God, right?
Yeah,
that's what they say.
Right, that's what they say. So that's what it was built under, right?
Yeah.
So in order for it to be one nation, you have to have unity, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I just don't think, and you tell me what y'all think. Do you ever think that we would ever be one nation? Because if the Democrats and the Republicans is fighting, and the people, white, blacks, Hispanics, Chinese, whoever, we fighting, where's the unity? Where's the one nation? How is it ever going to come together? So it's really built, it says one nation, but it's really built on some people got the upper hand, and it's not really one.
You know, the last time that I saw what looked like one nation, 9/11.
Right.
Yeah. 2020.
But we need somebody. There's always, the country is never as unified as when there's somebody on the outside dogging us. Right.
Yeah.
But you look through all history. You know, sometimes we act like this is the only time we've been divided. This is the norm when we don't have somebody outside big enough to bother us, right? Because you look at 1850s, the whole story about Joshua Glover and them literally coming up here to drag him out, right? Because of the fugitive slave thing.
Yeah,
right. Joshua Glover.
This has been the history of this country. It has been these divisions, right? As long as there's not somebody outside. Now, the minute you get the Soviet Union, you get, North Korea, China.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody can actually do something to us, you start electing people who are very proper. You're very concerned about, you don't let crazy people in the office. You make sure everything's kind of calm because you don't want anybody with trigger finger with all the stuff, right? Soon as all that collapsed is when we got back to this foolishness again, right? I mean, you couldn't afford to have this foolishness before because somebody could do something and trigger some mess that we weren't ready for. I just think this is where we're at because there's nobody on the outside to make us be united.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm sorry, Debo.
No,
I'm gonna
go ahead.
let you finish. with the way Trump is moving, I wouldn't want a psycho with nuclear codes.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. Again, right? So let me do the reverse, right? Because you're saying about unity and etc. Right? Ask yourself why are the polls still 50-50? Okay, think about it. With all the stuff we're talking about, all the division, all this other stuff going on,
But you know
why are
there's
they
a
still
margin
50-50?
for error in
No,
every
but even
poll.
then, it's like 2, 3, 4
yeah, there's
percent,
still
right?
a margin of error.
Yeah.
Right, but you still, however you round it out, we're still coming out as basically 50-50 country, right?
Are you in the least concerned about the number of Republicans who are saying they're not supporting this guy? They're not going to.
But you know what? I would say you also got people on the other side, because how many? You look, there's a percentage that they show you in the polls. How many Democrats are voting for the Democratic ticket? How many Republicans are voting for the Republican
Well,
ticket?
that's
right?
not what I asked you.
I know, but what I'm
I
saying
asked you,
is,
were
I
you
see
in the least
80%.
bit concerned about the number of Republicans that are not supporting Donald Trump?
No, I'm not concerned about it. In fact, I think it's healthy that you got people up front and telling you, here's where I'm at, right? I just think the whole thing, the best thing about democracy is put it all out there.
Yeah.
Put it all out there. Let
Yeah.
people see everything. You make up your mind. My issue is when we get to a place where black folk, you can't even have a conversation about another side.
Well,
right?
Well,
that's my thing.
Well, Will,
what's your take on 34?
On 34?
Yeah.
Who's 34?
The number of felonies.
Oh, wait. Well, you got to be more specific with me these days, right?
That number is supposed to be
changes every week.
Yeah, but that's 34
no, and
convictions.
Again, here's my thing. Again, all out there and open, right?
What about grab them in the P?
All out there in the open, right?
I mean, but you're okay with this?
No. Look, I'm not okay with it from that standpoint. That's not my value. But I'm saying I think it's important that it be out there for everybody and let people make their decision.
So Will, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
With all that's been said about this man, and that what everybody know, he's a liar, he'll look in your face and lie. My thing is, I still don't believe that people, when you say this to them, they say, yeah, but Kamala did this and did that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's not tit for tat, first of all, on either side. One. Two.
Yeah.
If this man is lying to you and you know he's a liar, and you say, well, off the record, people that tell me that they're going to vote for him says, well, I really don't like him. Well, why are you voting for him?
Okay, wait, but let me tell you. So this is a classic question that comes up all the time, right? About why are people still doing it? So you'll talk to all sorts of people who will say, like, you know what? I don't like the attitude. I don't like this. I don't like that, etc. But here's where they get back to is whenever I talk to somebody, they're talking about, hey, I want to get the economy back the way it was. Because here's what they were doing. They were turning off the sound and counting their money, right? So including, now here's the thing. You got to say, why is it that Trump has a higher percentage of black men who are polling with him than any Republican in recent years? I mean,
you need to be answering that question.
No, and I'm telling you, what you see is so many people who are talking about Hispanics the same way, talking about the fact that, hey, I don't care about this other drama. I'm not watching the news about this other stuff. I don't care what he said, blah, blah. Hey, the economy for me was this.
So we don't care.
Yeah.
That he has said there's audio.
Yeah.
Dictatorship.
Yeah.
Wait. He said it.
Yeah. I heard it.
But then most recently, when he made the comment, yeah, you just vote this one last time and you won't have to do it. You have to worry about it again.
Right.
So this guy believes this, man. I mean, listen, believe what I'm saying to you.
I'm hearing what you're saying.
I'm saying if he's telling you that, believe that's his thought process. That's where he would like to see things go.
I will say this. You got plenty of people who will say, this is him. Basically coming in and, poking people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes he's doing this stuff because he's just riling people up.
You think?
And I'm just telling you, this is so anti-establishment. And so part of the reason that he does some of this stuff is like just deciding to blow off the establishment because he doesn't want to be bothered with them. Right. And all I'm saying to you is if it was one person doing this stuff, you could say, hey, look, there's something that's foolishness. and be fine and keep on rolling, right? And if we were all agreed, the polls should be coming out 80%, 90%, right? They're not coming out that way because I think, again, there are all these people who feel like elites. There's always somebody getting over. And we talked about this, right? Whether it's our community, because our community feels like there are people getting over on us, right? Somebody's making money. Somebody's got money that's not coming here, right? Somebody's getting these jobs. Somebody's getting the education, etc., right? So my only point is you got to still kind of back up long enough to see why is it's still 50-50 with all the things you're talking about.
Hey, Will, let's looks like we've got a caller.
Yeah.
Let's let the caller in. Caller, what say you this afternoon?
Hey, how you doing, gentlemen?
How's it going?
Pretty good. When I listen to all this stuff, I realize Trump is not a politician. He's just an all-star wrestler. So he's an all-star wrestler.
Yep.
So he's not used to formality. He's used to being the star of the show. Now let's compare him to President Obama, a professor who's cool. He's cool. Now in the speech that he gave, and his wife too, he gave these speeches that, especially President Obama, gave the speech that was very smooth, but then all of a sudden he just drop kicks me right between the legs. He starts talking about stuff that he should know better when he starts accusing. And the whole theme of the thing was freedom to a Republican means the freedom to exploit people, to pollute the air. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, wait. The University of Chicago is world renowned as the free market school. You would talk about freedom. There is nothing more emblematic than the word Chicago School of Economics. And if I'm not mistaken, President Obama taught at University of Chicago. Am I wrong? Am I right?
I'm not a renowned authority. Do you know?
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised.
He's taught somewhere in Chicago, and they live in Chicago.
Yeah.
Now, I have no idea how the campus is laid out, but as a professor, I am sure he knows about this, what's called Chicago School of Economics, with Milton Friedman, Friedrich Hayek, Thomas Sowell. There's no way he should not know unless his head is so filled with stuff he doesn't have the time. There's no way that the Republican Party is for hurting people. They made it sound like freedom. They said it over and over. This was the theme. Republicans want to pollute the air. They want to pollute the water. They want to hurt people, and they want rich to get richer and poor to get poorer. That is not the Republican philosophy. That is not. And it's one thing to say you don't live up to your philosophy. That's fine. Then say you don't live up to your philosophy, but don't put words in people's mouths. That is not the philosophy of the Republicans, to pollute the air. But read Freedom, Free to Choose by Milton Friedman. You can just tune in. Free to
caller.
Choose, Milton Friedman.
Caller, I just wanted to make sure to verify for you to confirm. Obama taught constitutional law at the University of Chicago Law School for 12 years as a lecturer for 4 years from 1992 to 1996. And as a senior lecturer for 8 years from 1996 to 2004. So it is correct that he taught there.
Over a dozen years. Over a dozen years, right? It sounded like you're almost what, 18 years, 15 years?
12 that he was with the university.
Now, I had no idea, like I said, the physical layout, I don't know what it's like, if it's like Marquette, all these buildings.
Actually, I went to school there for a year.
Really?
Yeah, I actually went to school there for a year. It's been a very long time ago, though. So.
Okay, so can you tell me if the University of Chicago Economics Department or school, how is it easily accessible? Did you ever see it, or do you have any idea how it's physically accessible?
I was there for a year, man, and I was there long enough to be confused as to where I was going. I was in Chicago.
All you got to do is cross the city line in Chicago and be confused where you're going.
Exactly.
You have to be on a campus.
Exactly.
Okay, so he's a professor, and he should know the Chicago School is the name. If you say, what is the Republican philosophy? Chicago School of Economics, Milton Friedman, Friedrich Hayek, Thomas Sowell. You don't, it's impossible that you should not know that. It is not possible to be a professor there unless, if, like I said, his head is so filled. And I'm not trying to insult. People can be filled with all kind of stuff. And to say that all they care about is rich people, that is a total non-truth. I don't want to say lie. It's incorrect.
Well, and it's
Tempting
simple.
to say lies.
It's
Go ahead.
too simple an answer, right? For
Yes,
the issue,
yes.
because again, I
Right.
keep bringing up, you wouldn't get a 50-50 split in this country if that's all it
Yeah.
was, right? Everybody else would,
Correct.
would just move to the other
Right.
side.
How much of
Right.
that? How much of that is
Right.
based on, if you will, what we're seeing, what's being spewed out there?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's not basing that on what he believes. It's the rhetoric that's being put out there
Mhm.
by a lot of the Republican
He-
candidates. I mean, you look at the nominee
They
for
don't say
vice
that we're
president,
for rich people.
and you're
They don't say that
insulting
we're just for rich people.
when you make comments like women who don't have children. I mean,
Yeah.
come on,
I
man.
know, but that's not. I mentioned economics, and so once you get the economics
but
straight,
again,
a lot of
we're
other
speaking
stuff falls
to
in place.
how people
Go ahead.
conduct themselves. Will give you a thought process as to what you could expect from
But I
them.
think the caller is right about one thing. Like you can espouse a certain set of ideals and not live up to them, right?
Right.
Yes.
And I think that's partly
That's
what
all
we're
I'm trying
talking
to
about.
say.
But
Is,
why
Right.
would you? What's
no,
common
because
sense
again,
does it make?
I think this is, I believe what's happening in the country right now is that there's a huge shift. I think if you really think about it, I think the parties have flipped, right? A lot of the people who are in the South who were voting Democrat, blue dog Democrat, would have voted Democrat no matter who was on the ticket forever.
Mhm.
I think that's entirely flipped upside down.
But
Is
that happened.
those people, but I think what's happening
many
now
moons
is,
ago it happened.
oh, I think it,
because the
but-
Republican Party was basically black folks.
But now you flip the thing,
When
and I
you
think
look
we've
at-
gone to one more step where I believe even the stuff you see with RFK Jr.
Mhm.
and it's all this stuff where people are increasingly not trusting the institutions to tell them the
Right.
truth.
Well,
right?
well, hold on. Wait, hold up. Wait. Will, you just said something. You said
Yeah.
people are not trusting the institution to tell them the truth. But you gonna trust a guy that you know is lying to you, that you know that what he's telling you is
Okay,
not
did
true. Hold on,
President Obama lie,
wait,
though?
hold on.
President Obama lied.
Wait, hold on.
Remember, I said that I didn't want to see he's lying. Did he lie? When
Wait.
he said Chicago, that he's in Chicago. Did the Republicans say, I want rich to get richer, poor to get poor, and I want the idea of my Republican freedom is I want freedom to pollute. Did Obama say that? Yes. Is he lying? or is
Okay,
his
but
head
did
still
Trump
wrong?
say?
Did
But
he
did
lie?
Trump say?
Was that
Well,
a
hold
lie?
up, wait, because you did ask the question. But I'm asking
ahead,
you.
sorry, go ahead.
But I'm asking you. Did Trump say that he didn't do the things that we know that he did? Did Trump say that these people are lying and that it's all fake news, and we know it's not fake news?
We
So
know he
if
has
I
a
can
big
confuse the
We know
people,
he's a big mouth.
I understand
We know
that.
he
So
has a big
if
mouth.
if
Like
we
all-star
know he
wrestling,
has
that's
a
the way I
business.
started my conversation. He's an all-star wrestler.
Right. So
No.
I understand that. So what I'm saying to you is if we know these things, if we know that he's a full-out clown, why would you trust him with the nuclear codes? Why would you
Oh, so
trust
when
him
I
in
trust
position?
President Obama with
No, we're not talking
smooth
about
talking,
Obama.
smooth
Obama's
talking.
not even in the equation.
I
He's not even in the
understand,
picture.
and I
Wait
know
a minute,
that.
hold
I
on,
know
wait.
that. I
Wait a minute, but
understand
we're
that.
talking
He's
about
still
what's
king.
in the
But you know he's
equation.
still the king.
We're talking about what's
But
in
it's
the
his
equation.
philosophy.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, it's his
I can talk
philosophy,
about what happened in kindergarten, but I'm not in
right?
kindergarten
No, but
anymore.
isn't President
I'm a
Obama
grown
still
man,
the
so
king
we
of the
gotta.
party? Isn't President Obama still the king of the party?
That's what they say.
Trump is the king of his
Well,
party.
when-
But I
philosophy-
think that's quickly shifting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But I think this is exactly what
Let,
we're
let me
talking
ask.
about, the
Let me
division,
ask you
right?
this, Will.
But isn't this
Yeah.
exactly
I got
what
a
we're talking
question.
about, the division?
Yeah.
So we're having two, and I think this is exactly the kind of example. We're having two completely different conversations.
Exactly.
And that's all I've been trying to say is
But let me ask you this.
this is America right now, right?
This came
Pretty
from
much.
this came from one of the
I
listeners.
didn't say President
why-
Obama's
why
lying.
did-
I could say it.
Caller,
I could
hold
say
on
President-
for a moment, caller.
Go ahead.
Give me
Go
just a second. There's
Sure,
someone
sorry
else who
about that.
wanted
Thank
to
you.
chime in as well. Why did Mr. Trump
Yeah.
ask Georgia election commissioners to find him enough
Yeah.
votes to win? That
Yep.
was the last time out. Now he's asking Texas and other states to change the requirements for you to vote, making sure that if he loses, ensuring that he wins.
I
Okay.
mean, what part of the game is that?
That's the way
Okay.
Trump played the game.
Yeah. Now, again, look. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
I hear the music.
You know what that means.
I hear the music.
It's the same
Okay.
when you hear the music in your show.
That's right. The music is not as good as my show.
Are you kidding me?
What's the difference between?
There we go.
And that's great. A great way to end the difference.
All
man.
right.
What is the difference?
Well, there we go.
Listen, folks,
I like
it's
it.
certainly been fun for the last. Hey, caller, thank you so much. We can go ahead and release the caller. That's going to do it for us for another edition of, what's the name of the show again?
Our show.
The last half hour.
The last half hour.
All right, once again, you're listening to 860 WNOV and 106.5 FN. We'll talk to you tomorrow.